Greetings, everyone. Dr. Eileen O'Connor, and I'm going to be looking at some of the realities that we can create today. And we can start by seeing what's been done with things such as Pokemon. Is that the real world, where you can take characters and overlay them over the real world through your cell phone? Or what about Steven Spielberg, who has us thinking about different mixtures of reality? Now, the field of visual has always been important in how we learn and how we think. And even when you're developing readings, people are trying in novels to create those visual experiences. But now we have 3D as well. And considering that already some of the commercial world has embraced these areas, how can we develop these tools ourselves to bring others into learning this way? Now, one of the things that you'll be doing in this course are considering the different categories. And here we'll be looking at things such as when you feel as though you're part of the environment, where you're immersed in it. You can work that either just through a computer or a headset, whether you're feeling that the environment, the 3D environment, is being augmented over things such as your cell phone or devices. And then 360 cameras give us that possibility of feeling as though we are immersed in a space where we're not there. And we'll look also at how do you create these objects that you might want to bring over or augment something. So as you're going to be working, you're going to see how can we actually create immersions and how are these experiences created. And then later on in the course, you'll be figuring out what you can do feasibly. But let's see some of what is possible. Now, the first thing you have to consider is whether you need a headset device, whether you need a large holographic type of device, or whether it's simply sufficient for you to work from your computer. Many things such as 360 camera work, virtual reality, immersive environments, really don't need the headsets, but they are coming out and they can give you a richer 3D experience. But for a long time, we've been able to go into things such as Google Earth, see different parts of the world, zoom in. This case, you could even zoom into the Eiffel Tower. You can't see it here because this is just a flat screen. But these kind of experiences have been around for a while. Now today, you can get 360 cameras very inexpensively. This one was under $70, and it comes with a simple editing program. And from that, you could eventually, though, decide that you want to do something much richer, as this student did, where she was teaching how to get different vessels to dock, and she went and purchased a larger camera and got some fancier editing equipment. But many things are possible. What is really nice today, that immersive 360 experience can often be acquired from others. Here's a situation where there were scientists looking at a glacier. You can go into this and zoom around either through scrolling or at a headset. You'll get more of an experience of being there. Now, here's another 360 camera taken around the pyramids. This particular instructor actually tied in some materials about math. So 360 cameras can be used to create an immersive experience, but then raise other questions. 360 cameras are becoming very popular even in things such as clinical training, where you don't have the time and the expense to bring everybody in to operating rooms all the time. And we've seen that you can have immersions into 3D environments through something as simple as the open source environments that we use in the Mallet program. Students have created a lot of things over time, and with these, you don't necessarily need to have the headsets. They're becoming richer environments that are coming out that do use the headsets. Now, to make it really easy, there are even some web-based environments coming out to start front-ending people into the 3D experiences. But if anybody's gone into the gaming, there are some beautiful, large, immersive experiences. And for those, you're probably going to need to have the headsets. But VR environments are being created in healthcare. This is one that was teaching people how to use X-ray equipment. And the augmented reality is becoming more popular. This is a holographic patient that was created for nursing students. And with these type of experiences, the cameras today are often allowing us to bring in these three-dimensional experiences. Now, you may have used your camera for QR codes that you might find even on a cereal box. If you have the right app on your camera, you can actually go to whatever this person has put up. But what they're starting to do today is use the augmented things to move into mapping and world and planning. So there's a lot of ways that augmenting reality can actually take the GPS pictures and start bringing those in on more sophisticated ways. What you're seeing, though, initially, you'll have vendors who are creating these apps that you can look at on your phone. For example, this one actually opens recipes if you have the Heinz ketchup bottle in the background. And as I showed you before, this particular healthcare scenario is something that a nurse or a doctor can look at during their training when they may not actually have a patient going into anaphylactic shock, as this patient is. It was an actor, so they can have a lot of practice drills. Now, to get to that level of sophistication, you need some rather complex programs. And just to show you some of these pictures, they take some time to learn. You can invest in that time there. I invested in it, learned how to create a samurai that could hover over a deck of cards. So, you have to start somewhere. But you will see that companies such as Google themselves are moving into these augmented experiences on a much greater level. But what you can do today is start with thinking about what are the things that you actually make that hover over something. There are a lot of programs, 3D programs coming out, such as the Tinkercad program, easy way to start developing 3D materials. SketchUp has 3D materials that you can create or that you can get from others. Blender, very sophisticated if you really want to get into fine 3D materials. That's a free program, and it's an open source free program, but that's very sophisticated. And you can also just go online and find a lot of materials that are already available, such as these from Google Poly and Google Blocks. But going back, you want to be thinking about where you want to position your particular interest. And I was challenging you to find something that could ultimately be larger, but what can you feasibly create today? And considering that we have to look towards the future, I think all of you will find that there'll be a particular area that will be most attractive to you and will give you a vision for the future. So thank you.